why it is always revenge.
అదే స్ట్రాంగెస్ట్ ఎమోషన్ అనేమో.
How often does it happen that a film with barely a whisper, no flashy marketing campaigns, no endless promotional interviews, quietly hits the theaters and through positive word of mouth finds its audience, eventually drawing crowds to the theaters?
So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be really hard.
In today's hyper-marketed world, this scenario feels next to impossible. But that's precisely the quiet miracle that Thudarum seems to have achieved. I suspect many movie lovers and critics will echo this sentiment that Thudarum is the real comeback of Mohanlal, the iconic actor. While the blockbuster success of L2 Empuran certainly made waves, the film missed the mark in execution.
Lucifer.
Thudarum, however, feels different. It feels like a return to form, showcasing the depth and charisma that made Mohanlal a legend. At its core, the movie is a revenge drama about a common man pushed to his limits. Yet, this simple, time-tested story becomes a cathartic experience in the hands of Tharun Moorthy, who masterfully maintains an air of mystery throughout the film. Packed with humor, emotional depth, and a surprising dose of mass moments, Thudarum weaves a gripping tale about a regular man going up against a system with several unexpected turns along the way. In this spoiler-free movie review, we'll talk about what worked and what didn't.
You're goddamn right.
Let's get started by first briefly touching upon the plot. Thudarum follows the story of Shanmugam, fondly called Benz, played by Mohanlal in a role that feels deeply personal. Once a celebrated stuntman, Benz now earns a humble living driving his beloved black ambassador, a car he treats almost like family, quietly evoking the kind of affection John Wick had for his prized possession.
Beautiful car.
Thanks.
How much?
Excuse me.
How much for the car?
She's not for sale.
At first glance, the movie and even its poster might remind you of Drishyam. In fact, if you walked in without much context, you could easily mistake Thudarum for Drishyam 3. The story kicks off when Benz travels to Chennai for his mentor's funeral, only to have his cherished car seized by local police. Desperate to reclaim it, Benz's simple plea to the authorities triggers a chain of events that forms the heart of the movie. Will he succeed in getting his car back, or does fate have a few more twists lined up? With that setup in place, let's talk about what worked. Following a highly stylized action film like Empuran, it's refreshing to see Mohanlal step back into the shoes of an ordinary lower middle class man in Thudarum. He's there in all possible ways and delivers a deeply nuanced performance, embodying the relatable family man role with his signature style. His small mannerisms and shifts in body language breathe life into the character, and his usual flair is visible even in the fight scenes where his portrayal reflects Ben's background as a former stuntman, adding a layer of authenticity without being overly flashy. Especially in the second half, his restrained emotions and expressive acting stand out, reminding us once again why he remains one of the finest actors in Indian cinema. His commitment to the role, never once playing it like a superstar, reflects the respect he holds for his craft. The movie also reunites Mohanlal and Shobana after a 15-year gap, having previously worked together in numerous films. Shobana, as always, brings an effortless elegance to her role as Lalita, Shanmugam's wife. Though her screen time might be limited, she makes her presence felt, handling her character's moments with grace. Apart from Mohanlal and Shobana, Thudarum has a strong ensemble cast, and they are all well utilized in the context of the story. However, one supporting actor truly makes a striking impact: Prakash Varma as C.I. George. For those who don't know, Prakash Varma is an Indian filmmaker who has directed and produced many popular advertising campaigns, including the iconic Vodafone commercials featuring Zuzus. And as C.I. George, Varma delivers a fantastic debut performance. Without going into too many details, I can just say he was exceptional, and his performance, especially opposite Mohanlal, significantly ramps up the film's tension and is a major factor in its success. One of the film's defining strengths is director Tharun Moorthy's direction and how he unfolds the drama and punches in intriguing moments to keep the audience guessing. If you look at the trailer, for example, it won't give you any clue whatsoever about what the movie is about and why everyone is talking about it post-release. Just solely on the trailer, it is very hard to guess. But that is where Tharun demonstrates a key eye for detail, knowing precisely how to use an actor's glance, a subtle gesture, or the framing of a scene to maximum effect. It is very easy to jump straight into a conflict, but Tharun and co-writer K.R. Sunil keep the first half on a slow burn, gently letting everything unfold naturally, feeding necessary information subtly rather than through overt exposition, and firmly establishing the relationships between the key players. Filmmakers effectively paint a complete picture of Shanmugam's and Lalita's world in the initial act. Their family's happiness feels authentic, stemming from strong bonds and mutual respect. All this forms the first half, which sets up the drama, and the soft, light-hearted moments emote the audience. The second half gradually builds speed as the narrative tension increases. Once it shifts into high gear, Moorthy and Sunil skillfully reveal the hidden complexities, transforming the film into a compelling thriller. And right till the end, Thudarum remains remarkably grounded and cohesive. It avoids becoming overly ambitious or disconnected from its core emotional foundation. Moorthy and Sunil navigate the narrative with impressive consistency and fluidity, delivering plot points and emotional crescendos precisely when needed. This careful construction takes the audience on a compelling emotional ride, ensuring viewers are deeply invested and rooting firmly for a satisfying resolution. On the technical front, the movie scores high marks. Saji Kumar's cinematography deserves special mention. The visuals effectively capture the contrasting moods of the film, immersing the viewer in the story's setting. Complementing the visuals is Jake Bizoy's background score, which skillfully enhances the emotional weight of key moments. The music underscores the drama and suspense effectively without ever becoming overwhelming or intrusive, weaving itself seamlessly into the narrative fabric. Overall, the production values feel solid, giving the film a polished and a well-crafted look that supports the storytelling. Now coming to what doesn't work. While the deliberate pacing serves the story well eventually, the first hour of Thudarum might test the patience of viewers who aren't fans of a slow burn. This approach isn't uncommon in thrillers. Filmmakers often use a slower initial pace to meticulously build the world, establish character nuances, and subtly layer the groundwork for the tension to come. It allows the audience to invest in the characters and their ordinary lives before the conflict truly ignites. However, for those seeking immediate action or a faster plot progression from the outset, this initial phase could feel drawn out. Additionally, the movie clocks in at 2 hours and 43 minutes, which feels slightly overlong. A tighter edit, perhaps trimming around 20 minutes, could have sharpened the overall impact. There are moments, particularly during the setup phase, that feel repetitive or could have been conveyed more concisely. That being said, it's understandable that building the detailed family dynamics and establishing the stakes for the later thriller elements might necessitate a certain amount of extended exposition, which this genre often demonstrates. While the emotional pull remains strong, the movie treads on familiar ground. For seasoned Malayalam cinema audiences and fans of the thriller genre, the beats of the story, a simple man fighting the system, unexpected hurdles, and simmering frustration might feel predictable. Overall, the movie is a good watch. I wouldn't say it's Drishyam 3 because it has a story and treatments of its own, but it is a revenge drama neatly packaged in a dramatic, intriguing manner by Tharun Moorthy, proving that when a director has complete control over the narrative, it often works as the best. If you enjoyed this spoiler-free review of Thudarum, check out our latest video on Nani and the hit verse here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.